Hello and welcome to another episode of Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. We are super excited that we have some more of the VIP speakers joining us tonight from Build Your Wealth Conference. So if you've been joining us for the past couple of weeks, we've been having some wonderful conversations just basically centered around how do we go about building that wealth, right? We talked about it starting in the mind. We talked about having that strong network. And tonight we're going to shift our focus to the teenpreneurs. So if you're joining us tonight, you're in for a treat tonight because we don't get very often our youth represented on our show. But when we do get them on, they are phenomenal and it's such a treat. So I'm so excited to have them joining us tonight. So tonight, after our introduction, we're going to have some more of the VIP speakers from Build Your Wealth Conference 2022, and we're going to let you know exactly what you need to do to obtain your complimentary ticket later on in the program. So you know what we do every Thursday night, even though it's Monday night, it still has not changed. So go ahead and grab your favorite drink. Make yourself comfortable, sit back and enjoy the ride because you're in for a treat tonight. So don't go anywhere, family. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. We hope that by the end of our show, you left feeling empowered, motivated, and connected. So come on in the room, grab your favorite drink, sit back, and enjoy the ride because you're finally at home at Kiva's Place. Now give it up for our host and producer, Coach Kiva Lernice Murdoch.
So welcome back, friends and family, to Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. So I'm going to bring all of our VIP speakers up, beginning with our visionary leader, Miss JJ, and her son, Philip Wiggins. So welcome them to the stage. How are you?
Hello. So happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us, Coach Kiva.
It's my pleasure. Thank you all for coming back and joining us. Next, we're going to bring Dr. Tekemia Dorsey along with her two children, Halz Simons and beloved Joshua Simons. So welcome, everyone. Welcome. How are you all?
Hello, I'm doing good.
Hey, Coach Kiva and JJ and Philip. It's nice
Hello.
to see you guys again.
Hi, I'm so glad to have you all. So listen, I know it is a school night, so we're not going to be here long tonight at all, but I definitely am so thankful that we can just speak with the youth tonight about their perspective on building wealth, right? Because it's so important that we start to train our young people up so that when they are older, they are already set or they have the mindset and what they need to do to be able to be successful in their businesses. So I'm super glad to be able to just have them on tonight. So thank you, young people, for being here. Awesome. So before we hear from our young people, JJ, I want to allow you this opportunity just to tell our viewers a little bit more about this particular conference. So tell us what the Build Your Wealth Conference is all about.
I am so excited for this conference. So we hold several Building Wealth Together conferences year round. This is our women's conference. It's specifically focused on issues that impact women and their children and their families and their family trees. And we have two men speakers that are joining us, and y'all, the audience saw them last week here at Kiva's Place. But one of the biggest things that I want to do with this conference is to help women have the confidence that they know they can win with money and get equipped with the tools and the network that they need to succeed. All of us, well, no matter what the current times or anything like that, all of us have been gifted an inner ability to achieve the things that we want to achieve. And one of those things that we want to achieve is winning with money, being able to build wealth and spend it the way that we want to, being able to spend our time the way that we want to, being able to spend our energy the way that we want to. And this conference will help all attendees get on a path or improve the path or accelerate their current path to doing just that.
I love that. And that is so much needed nowadays. So before we actually dive into our conversations tonight, let's go ahead and allow your VIP speaker, time to introduce themselves. So we're going to start with your son, Philip, and then we will go to Dr. Tekemia, then Beloved, and then Halz.
All right. Well, hello. My name is Philip Wiggins. I am 16. I live in Stephenville, Texas. Something about me. I like football. I like to play football. I like to compete in math competitions, and I am also classified as a band nerd.
I love it. And you are changing your hair. It looks like you're locking it, right? Awesome. I love it. Well, welcome back. All right, Dr. Tekemia Dorsey, you are no stranger to Keeper's Place, the Keeper Murdoch Show and Podcast. So tell our viewers a little bit more about you. And then we're going to hear from your children tonight.
Yeah, so it's amazing to be back on with you two phenomenal women, Coach Keever and JJ Conway. And I'm uber excited with BJ and Philip and Haley. And my name is Dr. Tekemia Dorsey. I'm an urban market analyst who I help to position businesses in the urban market as well as train up our next generation of leaders with our youth. We also provide leadership training and development to nonprofits and all of those other wonderful individuals. I have an extensive background in sports. So I also run a nonprofit called the International Association of Black Triathletes. It's the only African minority-owned nonprofit in the sport of triathlon that provides a gateway for youth all the way up to college and internships and careers and things like that. So thank you for having me as a part of this discussion in the Building Your Wealth platform with JJ Conway.
We were joking over here that we need to have you come back and talk about this college process.
That's the truth. I got.
Yes. Love it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Beloved, tell our audience a little bit more about you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Beloved Joshua Simons. I'm 13 years old. I am the CEO of Beloved Days public speaking firm. I am one of two youth that are the only youth that are part of the local and state chamber of commerce of our county. My business is where I encourage young youth with disabilities to lend their voices for change, and I'm happy to be here.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Very, very talented young man. And last but not least, Miss Halz Simons. Tell our viewers a little bit more about you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Halz Simons. I am 15 years old. I am the CEO of Halz Enterprises. I have been advocating for urban youth in and through the sport of triathlon for 7 years now. My business is a part of the local and state chamber of commerce. I am one of the two youth who businesses are part of the local and state chamber of commerce for Baltimore County. I am the NAACP Roundstown Youth President for the NAACP Roundstown Youth Council of Baltimore County, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Amazing. So let's jump right into this topic tonight. We are talking about building your wealth from a teen's perspective. So I want to hear from our teens tonight. Number one, what are some things that you all feel is needed in order for teen businesses to not only survive but thrive? I'm going to start with you, Miss Haley.
Can you come back to me while I think about my answer?
Okay. What about you, Beloved?
So one thing that I believe is important for youth business owners, teen youth business owners to thrive, is to have um, great organization skills and time management. It's important for you to have like time management organization skills anyway, but in the business world, it's much greater for people to have. It's a much greater thing for people to have in the first place because you need to handle X, Y, and Z. And if you don't have that time management organization, you can't get anything done basically, and you might be all over the place. So.
That's a wonderful point, and that is something that we really need to focus on, not only as teens but adult as well, because you find yourself spinning your wheels and you're not getting much of anything accomplished, right? Wonderful, wonderful answer. Thank you so much for that. What about you, Philip?
Well, I think one thing that helps is definitely having parents open doors for you. Like, my mom has opened a lot of doors for me, like when it comes to making money. And it really helps a lot whenever you just have a parent to help you along the way, helping you with things, teaching you. I constantly having my mom in my ear telling me things that would help me improve myself. So it's just a really good thing to have parents or some form of guardian helping you along the way.
I love that. Yeah, that family support is so important. We're going to probably come back to another question surrounding that too. Miss Haley.
Yes, I finally have an answer. Thank you. I would say that the most important things to have is having a good support team. Like an example that Philip was saying, is being able to have like your parents being open to help you try new things and being able to have your doors open so you can have the new opportunities for you to be able not just to be able to learn new things, but being able to grasp that knowledge so that you can put it towards your business. I can say, for example, of how my mom has been a good support team for me and helping me throughout my business and being able to help me thrive. But thanks to her good support, I have been able to open up my doors and being able to be confident in things that I'm able to do and having a good foundation on where I know that I can begin. And yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Which actually, and that's a huge part, with any business, especially dealing with our young people, is it's very important for them to feel that support and to know that, we got their back. But not only that, being able to just guide them and direct them. And it's very important for our teens to also to be receptive of the education, of the teaching, because young people, I know sometimes it could feel very, very pushy and your parents trying to just shove it down your throat, but I'm telling you, it really makes a difference. Look at Philip's face, like guilty, right? But it's so important, and I know that all of you are just reaping the benefits from just having that strong familiar support. So amazing. But I want to ask you, youth, what advice would you give that teen that perhaps may not have that strong family support? Is there anything that they can do that you all have found to be successful in helping them to navigate through maybe not having that strong mom or that strong dad support in their corner, but they are determined to try to make a mark for themselves as an entrepreneur? So can you offer any advice to that teen that may not have that strong support? And I'm gonna start with Philip.
Well, I know for me personally, there are a lot of like things that just my parents will not be able to help motivate me and keep me going with. That sometimes there are my friends who have like my very best friends who I just need to like have to keep me going. So I mean, I would say that there like you if you how do I say that? If you had
So if you didn't have your mom, what would you do?
right. So if I didn't
You
have
get good
if I
friends.
didn't have my mom, I would have like these set of really good friends that I have who just would help me, because I know my friends in the past, a couple of them have moved away, but like the friends that I've had in the past have really helped me keep going and strive for bigger things. They compete with me all the time. They lift me up whenever I need lifting up, and it's like just a cycle that helps. So I mean, having a good friend to help push you along really helps if you don't have like parental advice or things like that.
Yeah. And I think you hit the nail right on the head. Sometimes it's really important to look within your other inner circle. That can be friends, family, teachers, guidance counselors. Wonderful answer. Thank you. Thank you for that. What about you, Miss Haley?
So for me, I would definitely say look for someone who is a role model to you for kids who may not have parents or may not have that outreach at home to be able to trust and be able to like go to you if you need help with anything. Definitely that's most important is definitely having a role model. It can be like a teacher that you're really cool with, a guidance counselor, and even like Philip said, even your inner circle or even your best friend that is able to help push and motivate you through struggles that you may be going through on at home, and being able to have that emotional support and so basically support you through the things that may go through hard. So most importantly, I would definitely say look for a role model or a second person that you can lead onto if you don't have that parent or support that you don't have at home.
Thank you so much for that. And that is so true. Try to find that person that you can emulate and lean on if you can't find that support within the home. Thank you for that wonderful answer. And beloved.
So, Philip and Haley actually stole my answers. So, I'm gonna just piggyback off of what they said. So about Philip and Haley about what finding close relatives. I mean, close people that we can trust. Like, I would also say that because if you don't have that like mother or father figure or something like that can help you like with business and stuff like that, or anything in general, talking to like people that you know and that will help you, that you know will help you um, find that inner balance or between like what you need help on and what you don't, and helping you like overcome those obstacles that you are facing in like certain period of time. It'll be a really great like strategy to help you, like your friends or family members, or yeah, like Kelly said, school counselor and stuff like that.
Wonderful answer. Exactly. And that actually is a wonderful segue to my next question. What would you guys say is a great way for parents to be able to support their teens in their businesses? So, if you had to give one advice to a parent on how they can be supportive, what advice would that be, beloved?
So an advice I would say for parents that could like help them is to give them not criticism, but something that they can improve on. Let's say if like they're starting their own business, or not starting their own business, they're like improving on their business and they're making like great, like they're doing things that they are really good at. They you can like give them something that they can improve on, like if they're doing something like not something bad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Constructive
constructive
criticism.
feedback. Yes.
Yeah.
So they can help them like move on with what they're trying to do, and then help them improve on what they need help on, like the problem that you see that they're doing.
Yeah. I would agree with that 110%. You got to have that person that is going to be honest with you and can give you that constructive criticism in love, um, that will help to just motivate you and show you exactly what you need to do. You got to be receptive to it too, but yeah, definitely wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Philip.
Definitely not force your teen to do something that isn't for them. my mom really tried to get me to do a lot of sciencey things because
I
that's
did.
what she majored in.
So I did
And
the Air Force for 23 years.
she thought I would be the greatest, like I would probably be like the greatest scientist ever, but I I am not going to be able to follow in her footsteps and be as great as her in that category. So just don't force your teen to do something that you think they should do. Just help push them along to help them find the thing that they are comfortable with and capable of doing, and help them reach their goal. So
But how long did it take you to finally tell me
years.
that you didn't like
So be I don't know, be able to hear what your teen is saying, or have the heart to listen to what they are saying, and not get mad if they do not what's the word if they do not, if they just don't want to like do the thing that you have planned out for them. Just be able to have an open mind to whatever they want to do,
as long as they're doing something.
as long as they're doing something.
Right. And I have to be honest, sometimes as a parent, that is extremely difficult because we have the utmost, like, we have a kind of a picture what we want our children to turn out doing, right? But I must ask you, JJ, as far as your son not wanting to follow in your footsteps, what advice can you give parents that may be in that same situation where they want their kid to be a lawyer and their kid is saying that's not the route that I feel is fitting for me? So what advice can you give other parents that's maybe struggling with that same thing, that same issue?
I know I definitely struggled. I mean, I struggled back in second grade when his test scores didn't come out where I thought they should be, but he's a phenomenal leader in person and he builds relationships better than I ever did. And so I think the advice that I would give a parent is to be open. And I'll admit, it never even entered into my mind that my child, who built a hovercraft in seventh grade and has always been very engineeringly minded at home, wouldn't want to do all the science camps and the STEM camps and all those things that I put him in. But once I was learning to be more open to allow him to have conversations with me without me going through the roof like I work so hard. you gonna do this because I work so hard. I sacrifice so much. And I sound like I'm from Texas now. Oh my goodness, we need to get back to the East Coast. Sorry, but being able to have a relationship where it's open up, where he could finally tell me that, and then I began to see that he has those other talents. And it's funny that you mentioned being a lawyer, because what I look at the things that he's good at and I'm like, my goodness, he would actually make a good lawyer. And when I mentioned it to my husband, he was like, well, haven't you noticed the only shows he puts his phone down for are the courtroom shows? And I had not ever noticed. I just hadn't noticed. And so I think if you're a parent and you're really pushing your children hard, and I think we should push our children, because sometimes I remember being 16, I was all about the boys. I wasn't really, I had a little bit of wanting to get out of the low economic status I was in. But, at that age, I was really kind of trying to look cute, and I was feeling miserably, but I was trying to look cute. And so, I don't think parents shouldn't push their kids at all. I just think that we should be open to the fact that maybe our child's talent is in another area. Like my husband talks often about how his father wanted him to be a pharmacist and follow in his footsteps. And he was like, I don't want to do that. And he's a world-class musician. He's a musician that gets paid to be a musician. And he's, a regional director over all the other middle school band directors. And so, his talent shines, and his ability to work with middle school children shine. And I don't know about y'all, but I know Dr. Tekemia, she does all these youth things, and she's uplifting youth and helping youth. Well, I don't have that yet. I don't have that grace. I'm still learning how to work with youth. I cherish people like my husband who go into that classroom and build connections with those kids. They ate me alive the one time I tried to volunteer at a different school. So I'm just saying, sometimes we as parents have to be open. And that doesn't mean that our children can't have excellence, but maybe their lane of excellence is different from ours.
Exactly. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And Miss Haley, the same question to you as far as support. How can family or those parents best support those teens who may be struggling in that area?
What I will definitely say is very important for parents is let just take your hands off the steering wheel. Like, I know how parents want to be so controlling over kids' life, as Miss JJ had said. Like, she wanted to be so controlling with his life, and have him go like the science route that she went through when she was his age. But let your kid explore their options on like what they want to do. And if they pick an option that they want to do, let's say if they want to do cooking, if it's really something that they want to be passionate about, help support your child on their career pathway that's in terms of cooking. Just let them be able to explore the options, and let them be able to know like what they want to do. And if it's for sure that's something that they want to do, then it's okay to have your hands back on the steering wheel, maybe in the passenger seat. I don't know, something that you're able to just help support your kid in that skill set that they want to do. I don't know, to become like the next Gordon Ramsay or the next big chef in the world. But you're just basically, what I'm just trying to say is just let your kids explore the options, and let them see what they have to do. It's okay, they may not know what they might want to do like going into high school or coming out of high school. It's because they still haven't expanded their reach or opened their mind to new possibilities in the world that they may want to do. So just be able to let your kids roam, feel free, have fun, and being able to pick a skill set that they want to do. And then once they pick that skill set, guide them throughout that skill set so that they can be very successful in life.
I love it. Now, Dr. Tekemia Dorsey, I have to come to you. How easier said than done is that whole process, taking your hands off the steering wheel? Because I know for me, it all sounds good, but it's not always that easy. So what advice can you give to parents to be able to be a little bit more laid back and follow their children's leads, and finding out exactly what their innate challenge, innate strengths and abilities?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that Haley intertwined the word skill set in there, because that's exactly what my program, Breaking the Cycle of Poverty, Empowering Triathletes to Lead, Breaking the Cycle of Poverty in Urban Communities, hone in on, and where BJ and Haley and other youth have gone through, is that when you're able as a parent to help that youth tap into their skill set, it's no longer forceful. You're taking your hands off the steering wheel, which I have to make sure Haley coins that, because now they are driving, right? And when they have, that skill set, whatever it might be, and in my program, the number one question that I always ask them is that if you had to today go out and make money, what would that skill be? Right? Cutting grass, cooking, doing graphics. And the thing about it is, the students today in these programs, elementary, middle, high school, are far more advanced than we were coming up, because they are technology kids. They're doing things that business owners will pay six figures for, and they're learning it every day. So all their students are really looking for is a safe haven to be able to nurture and grow that skill set. And whether that's at home, in school, in the community, in programs, and it's not as hard as it appears, because when we do step back as parents, ask the students what they want to do, we're creating buy-in. And when we're able to create that buy-in, it's no longer a hassle, and it's no longer us forcing our wants through them. And we do come in that supportive role, but we also have parents who have to keep their hands close because of the cultural environment in which the students are growing up with, based on their neighborhoods. But in terms of their skill set and their advancements, it's not as hard if we sit and watch or ask those key questions, and understanding, like, JJ's Mr. Wiggins said, Conway said, stop and watch what's going on. Philip watching shows, he's showing you. You have a student, all they do is drawing. They're showing you. or they're cooking, they're showing you. If they're stopping what they're doing and they're pulling you to the forefront, they're showing you what that interest is. And sometimes we do have the backup, but Coach Kiva and JJ, it's not that hard, which is why we wrote the book on it in the curriculum, to be able to help students and parents navigate what their interests are and then connect it to the real world. And then I'll just stop there. The biggest disconnect is theory versus practical application. Theory in a classroom and real world experience. But when you as a parent can take that skill and attach it to the real world, the lights go off. Not just for the student, not just for the parents, but it's also closing the gaps academically, socially, psychologically, in discipline that the students need. And truth be told, that's what employers are looking for. So whether our teens become entrepreneurs or not, what our students need is that outside real world connected it into the classroom. And when those two things connect, then the world is their oyster. And with parents supporting them or even not. And let's also be honest, some parents don't know how to support. They may not know how to navigate and guide that skill set because they're still trying. And when we're thinking about urban youth or urban communities or urban families or even rural and suburban, right now we're coming out of a pandemic and some parents just trying to keep the light on. They're trying to figure out how to navigate to go from virtual to the real world. So they may not have their eye on the pulse with their youth the way they would like. So sometimes it's not that parents don't want to, they may not be able to. But when they are, and this is where we need our youth to be more advocates for what they want and what they need. So parents will never know unless the students say, I don't want to be a lawyer. I want to be a STEM person, right? Or I don't want to do this. And eventually, when the two worlds come together and you increase that communication, but the advocacy has to come from the youth if it's something that they're really interested in to close that gap, increase that awareness for the parent.
Exactly. I do agree with that. And it starts with communication, right? You have to have that open line of communication with your team in order to really understand what their passion is. And Dr. Tekemia said it perfectly. Watch them. They'll show you, action speaks louder than words a lot of the time. So just watch them, definitely. One final question, which is a beautiful segue into our last question. So I want to ask the youth, what are some things that entrepreneur parents need to know that teens probably will not tell them? And I'll start with Haley.
I think one thing that entrepreneur parents may not know from a youth standpoint would have to be that, I don't know. This is a really good question that you asked. Can you come back to me?
Mm-hmm. Sure. What about you, Philip?
Honestly, it would be that electronics are more helpful than they may seem.
That's a good one.
That you see that reaction right there. That's what I'm talking about. And but yeah, because I know there are a lot of parents out there who didn't have to use a bunch of the electronics that we use nowadays, but a lot of times have changed, and some don't want to accept that that there are a lot of technological advancements that have been made and that need to be used nowadays to help better teenpreneurs. So definitely.
That's a good point. I think there has to be some balance too, though. But yeah, definitely we need technology, and that's the area that I don't know the age limit on the parents that is on the screen, but that is something I am always taking classes on, trying to get better and stronger because it's constantly changing. And the way that you young people can just stay on top of that stuff amazes me. But yeah, you are absolutely correct. I think everything has this perspective, right? As long as we use it responsibly. Awesome. What about you, beloved? Great question.
Um, some youth don't. Some youth might know more than what they are let on. Like some youth will know more things. Probably know more things than probably their parents. Not everything, just some things that they
Like what?
um like uh it's just a general like a general thing. Like some youth might know like some more things about engineering than their like parents do, or something about like you know writing or something like that. It's a general topic to focus on.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. I can live with that. And Haley.
One thing I can say is that we do work hard in our goals or in being able to achieve them, because most parents may not think like, oh, okay, they just may be on their phones 24/7 all throughout the day and they're probably not getting any work done. Which in hindsight, I can say 50% of that can be true, because some kids probably are on their phone like 24/7 out of the day and not doing any work. But the other 50% are youth who are motivated to get the things that they want to do, like being able to work towards a goal that they may want to achieve, to see the greater outcome for it. So just to sum it all up, I will say that we are motivated, driven to get the things that we want to get done. It may not hit at certain points where parents may not think that we may not hit, but we are motivated, driven to get the things that we do want to see done. And we do see a good outcome out of it. So I'm going to leave it there. I said my
Okay.
statement. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you all so much for that. Dr. Tekemia, I have somebody asking for the name of your book again. So if you don't mind sharing that, and also sharing how they can obtain a copy of that book, that would be phenomenal.
Yes, absolutely. You can actually grab the book on Amazon. It's called Empowering Triathletes to Lead: Breaking the Cycle of Poverty in Urban Communities. However, there is an accompanying workbook that's not on Amazon, obviously for intellectual property rights, because people will take stuff and make it their own. But you actually can get a copy if you would like to email Coach Kiva on the back channel, and she could share the information. I can share how you can actually get a copy of the workbook that accompanies the book itself. And it's extremely phenomenal. And it really, again, allows the youth to take the wheel, and we're there in a supportive role, and it really connects the dot with all of the things that we want them to be focused on, to really help them hopefully eliminate them from not entering the cycle of poverty at age 18. Because we know, as Coach Kiva said in this whole conference about building wealth, is poverty is not just about social economic demographics, it is a mindset. And if they fall into that mindset of poverty, then the behavior follows, the action follows, and it can take a lifetime for them to get out of it. So it's a preventive program, preparatory for them not to enter that cycle. So yes, so you can grab it on Amazon, and then you can get the curriculum itself if Coach Kiva would be able to share the information to get to you.
Awesome. She
Tamika,
said
back to you.
she says she needs both of them. So definitely reach out to us, Sonia, and we can make sure you get what you need from Dr. Tekemia Dorsey. Amazing. Thank you all so much for coming back and just sharing the stage with me and promoting this wonderful conference. JJ, tell our viewers how they can get access to this complimentary ticket, because the conference is actually next week.
It is.
Yes, it's next week, May 4th through the 6th. And I'm going to go ahead and drop that on the screen. So JJ will tell you all exactly what you need to do so you can obtain your complimentary ticket and make sure that you have your butt in the seats.
Yes. Oh, it's going to be phenomenal. You can get participate in this conference at womenswealthsummit.com. That is womenswealthsummit.com. It's a complimentary ticket. You're going to get to hear from these young people as well as their mamas. All right. And you're going to hear from, I think we've got 24 experts and people who have successfully overcome all kinds of difficulties and setbacks to win with money. You've got folks like Coach Kiever equipping with customer service. You've got folks equipping you on how to write grants. You've got folks equipping on how to build your $1 million network. It's going to be a phenomenal 3-day conference. And we are going to, I did get confirmation the other day, we are going to have our, one of our live keynotes is going to be Dr. Cheryl Wood. And one of our closing keynotes will be by Dr. George Fraser. So I'm very, very excited for this conference, being able to pour into the lives of women, giving them the confidence they need to succeed, to win, to dump debt, build wealth, and prosper. Again, that's womenswealthsummit.com.
Amazing. So you have heard the call to action. So don't wait. Do not delay. Go ahead and get your complimentary ticket today, because you do not want to miss this conference. I'm super excited. And go back and watch the other. If you still have any question why you should be intrigued by this conference, I would invite you to watch the other 2 previous week shows, and just to hear just snippets of just the value coming from her speakers. I'm telling you, they were phenomenal. They have so much knowledge, so much expertise, and so much passion for what they do. So that's why you do not want to sit on this conference. So get your complimentary ticket today. Go to womenswealthsummit.com and get it today. Thank you all again. I greatly appreciate you. I'm going to allow you all just an opportunity for any final words, anything you want to leave, perhaps other teenpreneurs or advice for parents, anything you want to share. So the floor is yours. So Ms. Haley, we will start with you.
One thing I did want to mention earlier before you moved on to the next question was for young entrepreneurs. I know that it may seem like hectic getting like everything done because you want to do like branding, sponsorships with people, getting your business out there. But one thing that I definitely have learned over the years of being a young entrepreneur is finding inner peace. I had to go deep within myself to be able to find inner peace, so that I know that, let's say, a really busy, chaotic day came up where I'm not just me doing school, but also doing sports, and at the same time, maybe having meetings after school right after my sports. But I had to learn that first I had to start with inner peace in myself. And the more that I have more inner peace with myself and being able to know, oh, okay, this is coming up. I know that I'm not going to get stressed over it because I've learned how to go within and being able to be calm-minded and get through the things I want. So that would just be my advice to give to young entrepreneurs is find your inner peace and use that inner peace as your motivation and stepping stool to get you through your chaotic days that you may have coming up, or just normal days in general.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful advice. Thank you so much for that. Well said. Beloved.
I just want to say, first, thank you for having me. And also, if this also goes out to young entrepreneurs, if there's like some challenges that you like have, like if there's some challenges that you can't overcome, like it's really hard to like come past by, like it's okay. You can like seek out for other people to help you. It's not like going to be obviously not going to be like a one-man job. I'm not going to be like an Elon Musk or something like that. But like if you're like having trouble and stuff like that, it's okay to like ask for help if you need to. Like even if that person doesn't even have a business, it's okay for like ask for input and like stuff like that to get you settled and to like get you more upbeat and stuff like that and more motivated to keep going.
I love that. Utilize the strength within your inner circles. Beautifully said. Wonderful. And Mr. Phillip?
Well, the only thing I've got is for the parents. I want to make sure your parents know that there are a lot of the times that teens will need help and advice from the parents, but there are also those moments where you just need to make sure you're listening to them, because there's a lot of the time, there's sometimes that teens will also have very powerful advice and will actually surprisingly be right in some scenarios. So just make sure you're listening to what your teenagers have to say.
I love it. And finally, Miss JJ.
I don't think I could say it any better than they did. I just want to encourage everybody to hear more about these young people, as well as strategies they could implement today in their life to win with money, to dump debt, to build wealth, to prosper at womenswealthsummit.com.
There you have it. Well, thank you all so much. And listen, y'all have heard the call to action. Go ahead and get those tickets, womenswealthsummit.com. And until next time, continue to share, connect, and glow, because building your network also builds your net worth. So thank you for joining us tonight. Peace and blessings. Good night.
Thank you for watching Keever's Place, the Keever Murdoch Show and Podcast. Tune in every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Keever's Place. To be a guest on our show, text the word guest to 803-368-3030 or visit us at tinyurl.com/Keever's Place Book. And watch us on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire as we're broadcasting in more than 60 million homes worldwide.